She'd never bother with people she'd hate. That's why the lady is a tramp.
About the clip, which was, what kind of a lady was Frank Sinatra describing? And the answer was a tramp, because he's about to sing That's Why the Lady is a Tramp. And that's from the musical Pal Joey, which is out on video this week for £9.99, and well worth buying, I feel, because it co-stars Rita Hayworth. Now, I'm on the bed now with another celebrated redhead, one of the most famous politicians of the entire century. It's the fantastic Barbara Castle. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you, Paula.
You are a redhead, aren't you, really, sort of?
Oh, yes, it's faded with the years, of course, but that's all you can expect, isn't it?
Still a sort of fiery redhead type.
Yeah.
Mm. Now, you've got your memoirs out this week. It's a very weighty tome.
Oh, it's not all that weighty.
You've not really... I mean, are there any stones you've left unturned?
No, I don't think so. No relevant stones, anyhow, you know.
When you see people like... I mean, recently Roy Hattersley described you as one of the most loved politicians there's ever been.
Oh, gosh.
Does that make you laugh? I mean, would he have always said those sort of things about you?
No,
it's a very
darling.
recent thing that he's now mellowed.
No, I tell you what it is, you see. It's because I've grown old. And therefore I'm safe. I'm not a risk. I'm not a challenge. I'm not a rival.
When you, I mean, you've always been famous for sort of being very feisty and having lots of fighting talk. And so when you see somebody like John Smith, do you feel disappointed in his performance?
Well, no. I get very cross when people say, oh, look at John Smith, he's not making a mark of the rest of it. I tell you, there is one political rule I've discovered, and that is it's the office that maketh the man or the woman. Margaret Thatcher, when she was just leader of the opposition in the House of Commons, cut no ice at all. She used to be terrified of Jim Callaghan as Prime Minister and was very nervous. But when she'd won office, then she could become her own woman, and as we know, she absolutely blossomed in self-confidence. Whether you approved, whether you liked or disliked her, approved her policy or not, she became a person, a real personality. Now, John Smith's got to win an election before any of us can judge him.
So having said that, what do you think of the job that John Major's doing at the moment, as he is in the hot seat? Do you think he's blossomed?
Do you know what I do think, Paula? And I don't say this lightly, because of course I have a very long experience in Parliament and in public life. It's the first time I've sensed that a government is disintegrating from within. It's very curious. I watched Harold Macmillan's great regime, you know, you've never had it so good, disintegrate over the Profumo affair, which I played a little bit of a part. But even that doesn't match what we feel now. They don't know where they're going. But this is my answer to you about John Major. I don't think John Major knows which way to turn.
Do you look back at all and ever regret that you weren't Prime Minister? I mean, would you have liked that? Would it have been an ambition?
Well, I think one always enjoys every new challenge in life. And every step in my life has been a new challenge. I mean, when I got into Parliament, that was the absolute apotheosis of my desires. To be a member of Parliament. It's a very exciting feeling, you know, Paula, when sort of, thousands of people vote for you. I vote to put her there to do a job. It's wonderful, you know. It's a lovely, exciting feeling. And, I mean, you're right, you've got a big following, but in politics it's tougher. But you don't just lie on a bed all day, as you
I don't get voted onto the bed either.
No, I know, love. But it's then, of course, to walk from the backbenches into the cabinet. It's absolutely thrilling.
When you're at home now, what do you do when you're not being busy?
I love spring cleaning, if you've plenty of time. Because, you see, you turn everything out, and you find things you didn't know you'd got. And you find pockets of dust and things under beds and you pull them out, you get it all clear. And you might treat yourself to some new curtains here and there. And I love that, because I was Yorkshire reared, and we're great people for bottoming dirt in Yorkshire. You perhaps don't even know what that means.
No, I know about bottoming.
You know about bottoming dirt?
I do,
yeah.
And I wish that I could bottom my dirt when I get home.
Well, it's lovely there. I mean, I'm really looking forward to a few months spring cleaning and catching up with the neglect of my garden.
It's been very lovely to have you on the bed. Thank you so much for being relatively uncomfortable. We were, weren't we? It was a bit lumpy today.
Am I looking very uncomfortable?
No, you look very soigné.
Because I was frightened to get too comfortable because I should have fallen asleep. Because last night we were celebrating the launch of my book and I had a high old time. Probably drank more wine than I should. So if I'd have been any more comfortable on your bed, I would have gone sound asleep.
Thank you so much. This is Channel 4 and you're watching The Big Breakfast.
Little.
No, big.
Little.
Big.
Little.
Big.
Little.
It's the Big Breakfast. Idiot.
I love that jingle. That's my favourite jingle. Big Breakfast here. Now, this weekend, there's a spectacular auction at Collector's Cars at Historic Aircraft at Goodwood House in West Sussex. Real planes, model planes, real cars, model cars. And as ever, the Big Breakfast is here, giving you a bit of a taste, a bit of a sneak preview, a bit of an aperitif, a bit of something to moisten your palates and get you a little more interested. Well, all right, I'll get on with it.
Oh, get on with it.
And here to tell us more about these two cars we've brought with us is Robert Brooks, owner of Brooks Collector's Car Auctioneers. Woo! And Robert, you could tell us about these. First of all, tell us about this one.
Okay, this is the Works Healy 3000 rally car from 1962.
Yes.
And Timo Mäkinen, Hopkirk, the Morley twins, all the great drivers drove this car.
Right, this particular one, this isn't
this
like
actual one, yeah.
a look-alike or anything?
No, absolutely not. And it's in super condition, ready to go, historic rallying. Very important car.
But you don't own the cars?
No, we're the auctioneers. They're privately owned, and all we do is sell them for their owners.
Okay, now when is this due to come off? Is this Saturday or Sunday?
This is going to be on Saturday. The whole weekend is very special. It's the Goodwood Festival of Speed, and they're relaunching motorsport at Goodwood.
Lovely.
So it makes it a very special occasion.
Classic track Goodwood as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So how much is this worth then? How much is it going to bring in the auction?
We're estimating 50 to 80,000.
50 to 80,000 pounds for this. Gabby, you've been checking it out. Is it all right?
Yeah, as he mentioned, Timo Mäkinen's driven this car, yes.
Yeah, okay. Took away your punchline?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did, didn't he?
Well, you've got 15 seconds to tell us about this beast.
Well, that's just the most important post-war British Grand Prix car. It's the Van Wall. Sterling Moss and Tony Brooks drove it. They got within an ace of their own World Championship, but won the World Championship for Van Wall in 1958.
How much?
600 to 800,000.
This particular car, and I can just go like that now. Right, okay. Time for the news now and the weather with our man Pete.
Closing headlines. A man claiming to be the serial killer of 5 homosexuals has been taunting police in London. The caller threatened more killings, and gay bars and clubs are on the alert. Unions are demanding the Tories declare political donations after the row over Azul Nadir's contributions. The TUC's Norman Willis wants payments made public like union funding for Labour. Researchers into John F. Kennedy's assassination nearly 30 years ago want bullet fragments removed from the body of a man who only died this week. John Connolly was wounded in the shooting, and tests could prove several hitmen were responsible. Now the weather, a dry start in the south but wetter later everywhere. Temperatures around 16 centigrade, 61 Fahrenheit. The north has the highest chance of rain. High pollen counts in the south, moderate elsewhere.